Here are the best Cypher setups on Lotus. Let's start on the C site. Start by placing a tripwire here, and a secondary tripwire right here. Come to the edge of this box, and look at the corner between these two bricks. For this one-way cage, you want to place the HUD line between your tripwire and your cage onto the corner of those two bricks, and move it to the right. So you can see the cages right here. And for this particular lineup, there's a huge margin for error. So if you don't go far enough, or even if you're left side of the line between the two bricks, you can see that all of them will give you a one-way cage. Once the barrier drops, place a camera right behind the box and play along this back wall right here. And the reason why you want to play along this back wall
Cage triggered
is because this will allow you to see very deep past your one-way cage, versus if you're really in front, you basically won't be able to see anything. So you want to play as far back as possible. Once the round starts, hop on your camera, and as soon as you see the enemies at the entrance or are about to execute onto the C site, activate your one-way cage, swing out, and you should be able to get a free pick here. If the enemies are pushing through, or if there are more enemies coming in, throw down that cage. If the enemies push through this lane here and trigger this tripwire here, simply activate your cage
triggered
and get a free pick through your cage. If the enemies end up triggering this tripwire by running through down this lane, you can actually spam them through this paper thin wall, like so, and you'll be able to get another free kill. Now let's come to the B site. For our camera, put it right up here, a tripwire right here, a secondary tripwire right here, and for our cage, it's going to be in a very particular spot. So find this discolored square on the ground and put your cage top left of the square. I'll put both of our cages here. You can play in this cover here, hop on your camera, and as soon as you see the enemy team start to execute onto the B site, hop off of the camera, and when they trigger your tripwire,
cage triggered,
activate your cage, swing out, and get a free kill. Same thing on the other side. If there are enemies coming through a link and they trigger this tripwire, you can hop on the camera, activate this cage, and get a free kill. And the reason we put the cage here is for a particular purpose. Sometimes the enemies will rush B with 4 or 5 people, and even after getting this first kill by killing the person who has triggered this tripwire, they'll plant very quickly afterwards. And so what can happen is, you see the enemies run onto B site, you hop off your camera, they trigger this tripwire,
triggered,
you activate the cage, you kill the person who triggers the tripwire. Now they start to plant.
Cage triggered.
When you hear that, activate your second cage, hop down, and spray at the default plant spot. It's very likely that you kill the default planter, and if you do, you actually have plenty of time to hop back up around the corner and play retake with the rest of your team with a very powerful retake camera. And finally, let's come to the A site. Start by placing a camera up here, and a one-way cage by going to the edge of this box, looking at the corner of this leaf, and throwing like so. And credit to Peak for finding this insane one-way. First tripwire here, and a secondary tripwire right here with a cage. Now, a lot of A site is about hurting your enemies to go where you wanted them to go. So, when the attackers get to this location, they have two options. They either go through CT, or they push onto the site. If they push into CT, they'll most likely get hit by the tripwire, at which point, hopefully you have a teammate who's holding like so, and they can swing off your tripwire. If they decide to push onto site, you'll be playing in backside and looking through your camera. When you see the enemies enter this location, trigger your one-way cage and peek out. You should be able to see your enemies and get a free kill here without them being able to see you. If they push through doors and trigger this tripwire,
Cage triggered.
activate the cage, swing out, and get another free kill. And those are the best Cypher setups on Lotus. You do have to practice a couple of the cage lineups and tripwire locations, but they should help you and your team win more rounds in your games. Hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.